Hello, everyone. Today is September 5th, and Pub Talk is back. We got another great show coming at you for you today. We are 5 days away from the NFL starting, and we can't wait to break all the action down here for you guys. We're going to go team by team, division by division, give you what we believe each team is going to bring to the table this upcoming season. And then we're going to hopefully drink some new beers here on the show, talk about a little bit what's up to come here in the next couple of months with the show as well. And then Hops of the Week is always to finish us off. But before we begin, we want to thank our sponsor, Route 11 Chips. Route 11 Chips, the best chips here at the Shenandoah Valley with great flavors such as barbecue, Chesapeake crab, and salt and pepper. 25 plus years of being in the business has led to some damn fine chips. So check out your local stores today and grab your chip bag. Okay, lights, beer, action. Welcome back, everybody.
Holy shit. We're back.
Why do you do that?
I just feel like I hear that music and I just get excited. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. It is very exciting because guess what? It is fucking football season here in the bar, here around
I'm scared.
the country. Guess what? We're going to start off with some college football.
I'm scared.
I know I said it in the intro that we're just going to go right into the NFL, but guess what? I heard Enter Sandman at Lane Stadium.
Dude, did you see jumping
together? Just
super spreader.
Hot,
just fucking, they're all dead.
Ready. Just fucking ready to hear Enter Sandman.
COVID
Chills
is
just given to me.
Yeah.
It was beautiful to see those fans out there. Because COVID's not in the air. It's inside buildings, but it's not in the air. You can't spread it outside. But in buildings, wear your mask. Anyway, football season is here. The NFL starts on Thursday where the Tampa Bay Bucks will literally bend the Cowboys over the side of the couch and give it to them good. Right?
Yeah, they're starting their 6-time Pro Bowl guard out with COVID.
Who?
Martin from freaking Dallas. He is ineligible.
Zach Martin?
Zach Martin is
good.
not going to play on on Thursday.
Not good. Anyway, but it is finally football season here at the pub, here around the country. It was so awesome seeing Jump Around, seeing the electricity of Enter Sandman. And here in a couple of weeks, we're going to hear Beaver Stadium get loud. We're going to see the whiteout game come back to reality. We're going to see everything for college football come back. It is great.
I don't know. This Delta variant's pretty fucking scary. You could tell by all the crowds at the college football game. They were really thinned out. They were thinned out. You know, if you can't get 100,000 people in a stadium, it's not worth going to the game.
You're just getting absolutely hammered at that stadium, too, because you could tell that a lot of those people were gone.
You know what? Nothing breaks your immunity system down more than fucking boozing it up.
And forgetting that you have a body.
Yeah.
Because, that's what happens when you get drunk. Anyway, I know I said I was going to talk about the NFL because that is what the majority of this show. And last year, the thing was with college football is that, it just didn't feel the same. I'm telling you right now, one of the things that makes college football so huge is the atmosphere that you go to. It is the fans that are in the stands. And when you went to those games last year and you saw those games, guess what? They were not that good. There was no fans in the stands. There was zero atmosphere. It was like the NFL basically, where you just had sound playing over to get excited. That's all it was. So we didn't talk about college football last year, but this year, what do we get off to start week one? You get upset after upset after
number
upset.
10 takes a lick at freaking at Tech. Tech takes down
you
number 10
UNC
North Carolina
football at number 10. You never do that. This is a basketball, lacrosse, field hockey school, you name it. They're literally everything but a football school. You don't put them at number 10 on the standings and expect them to be great, even if they have Mac Brown up there. You don't do that.
Yeah.
In Virginia Tech, Okay, I'll give you props for once. I'll give you props for once, Virginia Tech. You actually beat a ranked opponent here, and you stunned them. But, as I said, the ACC, it looks like this year will be a rough year for the ACC. As you go along with the games that we're about to talk about, you start to smell a trend going on here with ACC teams really struggling. And then you also had Minnesota, just heartbreaking that the way that they lost to Ohio State. They played so well in the first half. They were leading at the end of the first half.
Yep.
And then bam, you can't keep them down for long. Ohio State comes back and wins. That's just what they do.
The redshirt freshman Stroud throws for 4 touchdowns, right around 300 yards, something like that.
And this is what Ohio State has always been, is that like they will not stop.
They find a way to win. That's what good teams do. That's what good teams do. They find a way to win.
Definition of consistency, not Michigan. They have been the definition of consistency in the Big Ten. And speaking of the Big Ten,
I like the freaking. I don't mean to cut you off, but I really like the freaking running back, the new freshman running back from Ohio State. I guess you call it Mayan Williams. He's going to be good. And he's an undersized guy, but he's built like a fire plug. He's what, 5'7", 5'8", about 225.
So we talking like Darren Sproles and Tariq Cohen type of deal.
Just motor.
J.K. Dobbins. Like, why not
motor,
just say
motor,
J.K.
motor.
Dobbins? Unfortunate for J.K. Dobbins.
9 rushes, 125 yards, and a touchdown. That's a good day.
Yeah, stats. Yeah, Coach, I don't care, because stats in college football are always ridiculous because the defenses are always terrible. So, first up on our list, Georgia beats Clemson.
Oof.
The reign of Trevor
Would you
Lawrence
say they just
gone.
beat them, or did they just? I don't know if that's the right word. I think the right word is humbled.
No, I wouldn't say that they humbled him. I would say that you really, from what I saw this first week, you really have to respect defenses. You have they come to play in a matchup like this. Dude, Georgia's defense, I got to give them props. I really do.
Oh, they did a number.
And we'll talk about another game here in a sec about how defense, when you need them to step up, god damn, do they step up. And Georgia got to, how do you say it? Is it Ualagi? Is it?
Ungulele? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's
Yungalungalele.
They made him look jittery. They made him look very bad. They got to him 7 times, a lot of quarterback pressures, and made him throw a pick 6.
When's the last time you heard of a Clemson quarterback being sacked 7 times in a game? I can't even tell you if they had 7 sacks in 7 games.
Watson against Alabama.
7 sacks in 7 games is a mystery. That's not something. 7 sacks in 12 games. It's just
that offensive line was getting pushed around. They were getting physically handled. They were.
I mean, when you look at what Georgia's defense did. Now, Clemson's defense, limiting Georgia with the opportunities that they had to 10 points. Hey, when your defense is on the field all the time and limiting, an offense like Georgia's, okay, keep them on the field. And, they did their job. Freaking Skowski, what did he have? Freaking 14 tackles? Jesus. And he left the freaking field for a couple of plays when he had it looked like he came up with a stinger. And so he left the field and he said, I'm okay. I'm just going to shake this out. They put him under the tent, and the next thing you know, some bitch has his helmet back on. He's on the field. So
and then and like I said, it just seemed like now that for Dabo, man, imagine coming out just nothing, 3 points. That's what you have to show for right now. It's just 3
I think
points. It's bad.
That's the proverbial laying an egg.
Yeah, it really is on your opening game in Charlotte in front of.
You're the number 3 ranked team in the nation, and you scored 3 points and got humbled.
Yeah,
you gave up 7 sacks, were held to 3 points, and you were probably lucky to get that. They should have been shut out.
It's going to be a long film watching day, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it should have been a 17-0 whitewashing of them.
Next game, though, Bama. Man, I don't know why this game. I know the game was probably scheduled a longer time in advance. Bama played Miami. And let's just say Bama played against a practice squad. Because not only did Miami just not have a clue what was going on, they were out physical.
Everything you could possibly imagine.
Of the game, they didn't have a shot. The backups were in after the third quarter for Bama. They didn't have a shot in this game. And sure, it sounded good on paper. Hey, Miami's ranked 14th. They're coming up again. The head coach has a good step for Miami right now. And bam, right there in the face in Atlanta.
You look at the new freaking young quarterback in Bryce Young, and he spread the ball out to 10 different guys. 10 different receivers.
He's got a cannon.
He makes all the throws. He makes all the throws. 10 different guys caught balls.
And guess what? Their running backs are still good. Their running backs are still very good.
They kind of like spread it out between Robinson, Sanders, McClellan. They were just kind of combined. They were probably I'm thinking 130 yards rushing, almost 140 yards rushing between three dudes. You got three dudes.
And then, like I said, out physical them. That defense for Alabama, that defensive line, oh my God, they were pushing those offensive linemen around.
They had 4 sacks.
They had no idea. But if you look at the fumbles, the turnovers,
4 sacks and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, they made so many quarterback pressures and bad throws that game, and it wasn't a good game to watch. It was a terrible game to watch from a fan perspective.
I had just turned it on. I was down here. A friend of mine had sent me a text. And he said he wanted me to look for some football stuff for him. So I freaking took a minute and I went back in the storage area looking at my football disc, trying to find some materials of his from years ago. I couldn't find it. I went upstairs in the game. They were kicking the PAT. It took them about 2 minutes and 15 seconds to score the first touchdown.
It was that fast.
And I'm not saying anything. Trust me. I'm not saying anything negative about number 1 ranked Alabama. But they were really smooth. It's like they didn't even work hard to beat a top 20 team.
Those jerseys weren't dirty.
Miami was ranked 13th in the nation. They were dismantled.
14th, but yeah. I give it
13, 14, but it doesn't matter.
They'll drop down.
So I'm thinking, but that's how college football rankings are. I'm telling you what.
Preseason ranking.
I get all that, but Georgia is the real deal. If you'd have played Alabama, Georgia, that would have been a freaking knockdown, drag out. 2 very good teams, very smooth teams getting after each other.
I don't know, though, Coach, because if you look at what Alabama's defense is then, and you see how bad, Georgia's offense literally got 3 points. Like, they literally won that Clemson game because of a pick 6. You think about it. You just think about that.
Yeah, but you also have to give credit to Clemson that their defense is good.
That's what I'm saying, so is Alabama.
They're a top 10 team, period. They are that good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the total yardage, the team stats. I wanted to see the team stats.
Why don't you look that up? Because
oh my God,
I don't care.
They had 500 yards of total offense. You're ranked in the top 15 in the nation, and you gave up 500 yards, 354 passing, 147 rushing. The big stopper, though, is that Alabama had 8 penalties. 8 penalties for 80 yards.
And they still beat them by 40
And that's the thing is when you play somebody exceptionally better, like when you play a Georgia, you cannot have 8 penalties. You can't have 8 penalties and let them hang around. Give them an extra play, give them an extra series, and you're going to find your ass on the outside looking in. But All
right. Next one. Penn State and Wisconsin.
Wow.
Dude, 0-0 at the half. A defensive war at the first half. A defensive war overall. The final score was 16-10. And I got to give you credit, Penn State. You threw the ball down the field for once. You actually
and they had wide open guys.
Yeah, they had wide open guys. You had speedy wide receivers. You actually threw a ball over 20 yards. It's crazy. I know what happens. You still ran a lot of inside zone, though. But we'll skip past that. We'll skip past that. But
yeah.
Man, oh man, if there was ever a representation of linebacker U and just how that front seven of Penn State was phenomenal during that game. The pressure that they gave Mertz in that offensive line was great. And you don't do that to Wisconsin because those are big boys. They do not give up that much. They don't. And their plan for years is why their running backs always do good in the NFL. Pound the ball.
Yeah.
Just keep
grind on your ass.
And guess what? You did. They did pound the ball. But once again, Penn State's defense was like, okay, I mean, you're going to do that, but it's just not going to work at the end of it.
Well, the big thing to me was that Penn State's defense was on the field a shit ton in the first half. Their offense was atrocious. In
the first half, yes.
In the first half, they were
43 yards of offense.
Yeah, they were just atrocious in the first half. And then, they found a way. They got a little spark, a couple of big plays, explosive plays, and you're back in it. And so Wisconsin had so many opportunities. Many opportunities to win.
They had a touchdown at the end of the game, and he overthrew him. He completely overthrew him.
Yeah.
And then also, he was very predictable. No offense to Mertz, but at the end of the game when he threw not the last interception, but the previous one, where he had his best player, the tight end up the seams, one's like, I know you're going to throw it.
Right.
And so as soon as he saw him get open a little bit, he cut right in front of it, read him perfectly, and he took it the other way for 40 yards. I
think one of the things that ended up being significant was the turnover game. Penn State didn't turn the ball over. And that's
Wisconsin
huge.
Had four.
Three. They had a fumble and two picks. Yep.
And then also the blocked field goal as well. But also Penn State, they missed an extra point and a field goal. So there was special teams problems there as well.
Yeah. And you run into that kind of thing early in the season until these guys get settled into these games. What I liked is the fact that Penn State, Wisconsin, you had some guys. They're not playing Sisters of the Poor. They're stepping up and they're playing Big Ten football. It's a good game. You had number 10 Penn State versus number 12 Wisconsin. Neither one of those teams is playing with Georgia or Alabama. Neither one of those teams are playing with them. They're not. They're going to get smoked by those two teams. Just my 2 cents.
I think defensively you could hold on for a little bit, maybe in the first half, but that's about it.
And then Georgia's defense is going to dictate to you what you can do.
Penn State's offensive line is not that good. And same thing with Wisconsin. Like I said, Penn State's defense impressed the hell out of me. Eli Hodges. Man, what a great way to come in for a replacement for Micah Parsons after he's off to the NFL. Yeah. Like I said, if it isn't the embodiment of linebacker U for the next guy up, because you had Kabinda before Parsons, and then you had Parsons, and then now you have Hodges. You literally have just one after another, who will literally step in and be that next guy every single time. And,
I like it.
And it's just great. That's what I like about it. And Brent Pry, too, for their defense. It's like,
man, is he a great freaking coach or what?
They're like, okay, pass it on us. I'm going to send the fucking brigade.
We go back years when our boy Dylan was being recruited and Coach Pry was in our office and talking football and stuff like that. He's just one of those guys that you just have a level of respect for, and his understanding of how to play defense is he's forgotten more than I even know. And I've been around the game for 26 years, and he's still, just the shit that they do. Very good. The only questionable thing that I have for Penn State, and it's just me, is okay. You got a new OC. You got a lot of bugs to work out. Sean Clifford's got to play better. Their rushing game was wah, wah, wah. It was not good. They rushed for 50 fucking yards.
The only thing I will give that is, man, Wisconsin.
Put them against a better defense than what you see.
I get that. The only thing I'll give them is that you do have teams like that who are like, okay, we want to make Clifford pass.
Yeah, we want him to beat us with it.
Yeah.
With his arm.
So let's ball out for the run.
Yeah.
And let's stop the run as much as we can.
Yeah.
But when Clifford passes, let him pass. He's not that good. And when he did pass, guess what? He was actually very good. down the field. Mid passes, not so great. Down.
Hey, that was all about receivers getting open.
Yeah.
And nice play call.
That's the only thing I'll give Penn State is that it looked like Wisconsin was like, we want Clifford to beat us, not the run game. So let's ball out for the run and back and just let the pass happen. Let's just let it happen. And it didn't work out for them. So that's the only thing I'll give them.
Yeah.
Okay. So final game, man, oh man, LSU. It's really a fall from grace, especially when you lose to a Californian team. No offense, but the Pac-10, especially not even just the Pac-10, UCLA of all teams has not been a good team.
And they're 2-0 right now.
And they're 2-0.
They went and blitzed Hawaii last week.
When you talk about how UCLA is playing right now, are they a fantastic team? No, they are not.
No, much improved over what they've been, but the fact remains, they played better than people expected. I read this article, and if you get on ESPN and you listen to some of the things that they talk about, the talking heads, but you read the articles because the articles are written by about a lot of independent guys and stuff like that. And one of the articles was about UCLA upsetting LSU, but the thing was that Kelly was saying that it's not about the only people surprised was everybody in the media. It wasn't surprising to the guys in the locker room. They expected to be able to play the game,
and that's good.
Yeah,
and that's
huge. That's
really good.
It's huge.
You have a confidence thing now about this team.
Yeah.
But the thing I want to talk about more is about LSU won a national championship 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago from the greatest high school or the greatest college team.
You had a gem in Go Tigers. You had a gem in a coach and a team that was just, you could not stop them. And I even raved over how Clemson was still going to win that game against them. And guess what? They got their ass handed to them. Like that LSU team was one of the best college football teams. They truly were with how dominant they were the entire season. And then last year, they were not that good in the COVID year.
Yeah.
And then now this year, man, to stink up the country at 17th, and you travel to California and you get your ass handed to you, basically. I saw one play where it took 3 guys to try and tackle a receiver, and guess what? They still didn't tackle him, and he took it into the end zone.
UCLA had almost 500 yards of offense. 470.
It doesn't happen against an SEC team.
It's not supposed to happen that way. Unranked UCLA, and everybody's been, they've been a bit of a joke,
As a Pac-10 team, yes, they have not been a good team. If you put them up against the likes of like USC is supposed to win that game.
Right.
If you put them up against Stanford is still better. It's like those Californian teams in general, UCLA is towards the bottom still. They really are. They're not that good of a team in terms of the Pac-10. But it looks like right now, I mean, they just got a new brand deal as well. They're no longer Under Armour. They're the Jordan brand. They have a better
Jumpman.
Yeah, they got the Jumpman brand.
That looks really good shit, though.
So, like, they're new place, new brand. Who knows what the hell is happening out there? They just may want to ball out now. But anyway, like, I go, man, from 2 years ago, LSU winning a national championship, you're going to get all these great recruits now. You're going to get great visibility for your university, for your team now. You still have a coach who's his players love playing for him. And now, what do you have?
Yep.
I bet Ogeron is fucking pissed. He's like, what happened? What happened in the past 2 years?
Part of it, I'm just thinking freaking, what has Chip Kelly done? People have asked, what has he done for me lately? And it's taken a little, and he hasn't done very much, but he's assembling a squad. But you know what? It's as good as the guys around you. It's as good as the guys around you. You get an old head freaking defensive coordinator who's been in the guy, what's his name, Azanero. He's been around for like almost 40 years in college football, and he's a freaking DC. You can't get better than having an old head DC. Some guy, look, I coached with Sonny Hagee. He coached for one more year than I was alive at the time. So those old heads have a way of bringing some of these young kids into a whole new perspective as to how to play the game. Yeah, a whole new perspective.
When it comes down to that, when you want a coach that isn't going to be all. Oh, well, you got to do this and this. No, it's like, no, you're going to fucking do this.
Right. And then you got a freaking fly-by-night. You got a fly-by-night freaking OC and Justin Fry. He's not only the OC, but he's also the offensive line coach. Young guy, fucking, what more could you like?
Maybe Chip Kelly's finally realizing, well,
I don't have to do it. You know what I mean? I don't have to be the thinking head.
That was the problem in Philly when he used to be their head coach. He tried to be Bill Belichick. He tried to be the general manager. He tried to be everything. But hey, what a hell of a first weekend of college football.
I enjoyed
is
watching.
Here though, baby. Montana Grizzlies, they take down the Huskies of Washington, ranked opponent, number 20th in the nation. FCS takes them down. The Jackrabbits of South Dakota State, they took down Colorado State. That was another great win, even though I know CSU isn't that good. But still,
they're still D1 football, Mountain West.
That's a FBS opponent down and out for another FCS win.
Sarkisian got a win. First Texas
beating the Raging Cajuns down there from Louisiana. Yeah. I thought they would have put up a better fight, considering that they are a team that is returning a lot of players from their previous year. But I guess not. The stadium looks good, though. The fucking spaceship there at the end of the freaking stadium is huge and giant.
Hey, how about we got one more thing to talk about?
What? Why are you pausing?
Because it was dramatic effect.
Oh.
How close was Tulane to beating freaking Oklahoma?
Oh,
number 2 ranked Oklahoma.
I saw like the headline during the Penn State game. It was like, number 2 Oklahoma dominates Tulane. I'm like, they won by 5 points. What the fuck do you mean they dominated? They also only won by half a yard because the quarterback, it was 4th and 13. He got 12.5 yards. He just needed a half.
All I know is Oklahoma gave up 400 fucking yards.
Yeah, that's nothing new. That's nothing new. That has never been nothing new.
I'm just saying that you get that, but if Oklahoma's giving up 400 yards to Tulane, what are they doing against Georgia? What are they doing against Alabama?
Oh, they're getting absolutely hammered. I know you're surprised by that, Coach.
I'm not surprised.
But I'm not surprised at all.
I'm not surprised.
It's like this every year.
But
year.
I know, but my surprise is that Oklahoma is ranked number 2.
Yeah,
they're ranked number 2 in the nation. Are you shitting me?
They're ranked. It doesn't matter because once again, the talking heads of the fuckstick radio stations that these people go on always want to rank these teams so high up that they don't even realize Oklahoma is in the Big 12. The Big 12. Guess who has the best defense in the Big 12? No one has the best defense in the Big 12. There is no good defense. Okay? There is no good fucking defense in the Big 12.
Yeah, all they do is throw the ball around. Because when you look at their yardage...
Go ahead. Put them in the college football playoff again. What are they going to get beat by this time? 70-30 this time? Let's raise the bar a little higher this time.
And here's the thing is that they have freaking QB1, freaking Spencer Rattler as a top freaking tier Heisman hopeful. And to me, I just don't see it. I don't see how you can put him in there when he hasn't done shit yet. Okay, if he has a good year, okay, I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, he's a sophomore, and you're going to freaking put him up there when he's playing against freaking. Okay, he had 300 yards passing.
What?
I get all that, but he threw
these recruits.
He threw fucking two interceptions. How do you throw 2 interceptions against a team like freaking Tulane? And expect to compete with the big dogs out there. And you're ranked number 2. That's my whole fucking point.
No, but once again, how do you find these recruits? Where do you find these guys from defense? I'm serious. Where do you find these guys on defense?
Well, I think
who's your defensive coordinator?
Right. That's where it rests with me.
He's
it's with the DC.
He's on the couch every day, apparently, because he just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, they just give up about 500 yards of offense every single game, and they're still.
They gave up 400 to Tulane.
I'm telling you, I don't understand how that happens.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to happen.
Good college football weekend. It was a really nice thing to
like I said,
open the weekend. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, people, you got to go out to Twitter and you got to check out
don't go
Lane
out
State.
Twitter. Stay off Twitter. It's
Twitter.
Bad place.
Yeah, it's a shithole. But at the end of the day, if you want to see some cool tweets, some of the stuff that was coming out of college football with teams coming onto the field due to their the other one was Wisconsin's
jump around.
That was pretty cool. And the announcers were just like, we're going to let this happen because this is so important to people. That's why I don't think COVID stands a chance against the world of football. It doesn't stand
a chance against the world of football.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
You're not going to stop people
You're not
from wanting to
stop
go get hammered at a football game. Right. You're just not going to stop
it's not going to matter.
But you can stop it if you're inside, though. Just wear your mask. And
put your mask on and social distance.
It's gone.
Enough of our political commentary. We're on to the next round.
All right, so the NFL, like I said, starts on Thursday, and then every single Sunday until February 10th. I think it's like February 10th or something, or 20th. I forget. We're going to see some NFL football every single Sunday until February. It's going to be great. And starting on Thursday, you have the Buccaneers playing against the Cowboys. The defending Super Bowl champions will play against the Cowboys on Thursday night. So, like I said, I wanted to go down the list of which teams are going to be great this year. What do we expect from these teams going forward? Because guess what? We don't fucking know, but we know a lot. So let's go ahead and start.
February 6th.
That's the Super Bowl. So
February 6th, 2022.
So like
the double deuces, baby.
So, I mean, yeah, it's like February 13th is going to be no Sunday with football. So, yeah, around that time.
So we're coming up on...
It'll
September.
Be the 12th. Yeah, September
October,
12th is...
November, December, January, February. We got 5 months of football.
5 months of football.
5 months of football.
It's always... And you tell... I don't care. Fuck summer. You can go on vacation. You can go wherever you want. Drive your expensive car wherever. I will sit on my ass and watch football over going down to Florida and having swamp ass. I will do it any day of the week. In the cold-ass weather, you can make me stand outside in a fucking blizzard and watch a football game over going down and getting hammered on a beach. Because I will love watching that football game. Because what I'll do out in the beach with getting hammered is I'll just make fun of everybody. So that's what I would do. So football every single Sunday. And I wanted to... Go take your fucking piss. Jesus. Sorry. Anyway. But like I said, I wanted to go down the list.
In the immortal words of Jimmy Norton, I got a tinkle.
Go to the bathroom. Fuck. Anyway, I wanted to go down the list of the teams that, we expect to do great this year. Sure, you're going to have the couple bottom dwellers. We can skip those. One of them, I'll get it out of the way before Coach even comes back, is Houston. Because I don't fucking know what's going to happen with them. I truly don't know what's going to happen. They are a team that... I don't even think they're going to have a quarterback. Okay, they're just not going to... I don't even know what's going to happen with them, to be honest with you, because of the whole Deshaun Watson issue. So I'm going to go ahead and kick them to the curb. The other one that I'll talk about is the Jaguars. Even though they have... I know I'm talking about the AFC South a lot, but even though they have Trevor Lawrence... They don't seem like a team that is going to be very good this year still. They just don't. So I'm going to kick them to the curb, those bottom dwellers. I already gave 2 teams we don't need to talk about.
Who's that?
I kicked Houston to the curb because I'm like, I don't want to.
They got a lot of problems.
And then I kicked Jacksonville to the curb because
to the turd pile, if you want to say that.
Look, even though they have Lawrence, I still don't think they're going to be that good.
No, he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle.
Another team that I'm going to kick to the curb, the Lions, because they're the fucking Lions. I'm getting them out of there every single year until they win 10 games or go to a Super Bowl, because they will never have that. All right, I'll go down the list of games because that way we can talk about the teams that are coming up. First off, you have the game starting it all. You have the Cowboys versus Buccaneers. So right now, the scariest team in the NFL to me is Tampa Bay right now because of how sure, people will say, well, there's a Super Bowl hangover, but this is a different Super Bowl team because I feel that now that they have been together for, an entire offseason now, they won a Super Bowl last year without an offseason. They literally didn't see each other really at all, and then they won a Super Bowl together. They were the scariest team down the stretch when they were 7-5, won 4 games in a row, had to go on the road each and every game to go to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And won it in their own home fucking stadium.
Against a solid fucking football team with an injured quarterback. You have to say that.
I think that Tampa Bay scares me. And people will write them off probably early. They will. I'm sure Tampa Bay will struggle early. I'm sure they will.
You do?
That happens. Yeah, I do think it will because they're going to have... I do think that the team is going to think that they have to be perfect. I do feel that the team is going to have to feel like, we have to be undefeated this upcoming season or else people are going to write us off. And then whenever they start realizing, I don't really give a fuck what people think about us. Let's just win games. That's when it's going to become very scary.
Well, and the biggest thing so far is that in the preseason, when you match up what's going on with Dallas with what's going on in Tampa Bay is off the radar. There is no known injuries. There's no known hangups with them. There was huge contract issues with them, but since that time, they've brought
everybody back.
Everyone.
They have everybody.
Everyone.
They don't have any, conflicting, is he going to show up or this or that?
Right.
Le'Veon Bell. They're not going to have any conflicting, that type of shit going on.
So you have no contractual shit to hang you up.
Yep.
They're going to return everybody. So what comes down to this opening week is, and like every other week after that, is can they stay healthy during this long 17-game season?
And like I said,
can you stay healthy?
It's okay to have some scraps at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I mean,
it just is.
And it's always good. And we, as a coach, we always talk about the fact that you can't win a championship in the first week.
No,
you can't. You don't win a championship in the first week,
and that's why.
And it's not how you start; it's how you finish.
And that's why I said, I think people are going to write them off when they say, well, they struggled against this team, and they just shut the fuck up. It doesn't matter.
Right? They won when they were supposed to win.
It doesn't matter.
But on the flip side, when you take a look at what Dallas has dealt with in the preseason, if you watched Hard Knocks, the Dallas thing with Hard Knocks, I don't want to say anything bad about Dak. He's coming off a gruesome fucking injury to his leg.
Is he even going to play?
Yeah.
Is he going to play?
I think so. He's going to be ready for week 1. He had this shoulder injury, and it wasn't even an injury as much as I'd classify it as a strain. And so I think he'll be there. But the whole thing was, when I watched the Hard Knocks thing, he pressed too much. I think he was just pressing. He was so anxious to get out there, and he went out and he was throwing balls left and right. And the next thing you know, he's like, my shoulder's not 100%. It doesn't feel right. I think I pushed it a little too far. And then, of course, Zach Martin going out. And then you get a little nick, a little ding here. And the next thing you know, you're running into issues early on. Will he be sharp? That's the big question for Dallas fans, will Dak Prescott be sharp?
I just don't see Dallas being that fantastic of a team.
They have a receiving core that any quarterback in the league would freaking drool and freaking love to have. I think so. I think they...
Because I'm sure that Tampa would like to just say...
I'm just saying,
I'm
just saying what... If you look at Dallas and what they have in terms of receiving core and rushing...
I get what you're saying.
There isn't
Tampa's laughing and
I don't know that they're laughing
and smoking a cigar at the same time. I'm sure you have a nice core. Let me talk in my lounge over here with how their offense is
Scotchy Scotch, and I love the Scotch.
Yeah, they literally have better than every single position.
Well, I don't know about 100% better. I just know that Dallas had
running, but yeah.
Yeah,
receiving.
I mean, you put Zeke against freaking playoff Lenny, and you
playoff Lenny going to run him over.
Okay, but put Ezekiel Elliott in freaking playoff Lenny spot, and what do you got?
I still think playoff Lenny was unreal.
You know, who playoff Lenny reminded me of was LeGarrette Blount.
Yeah.
Big fatty.
When LeGarrette Blount got into the play, yeah.
He was lights out. He was just that good.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
But I would put Ezekiel Elliott up there. I'm not a huge fan of him, but having watched the Hard Knocks, he's all about his teammates. I really like the way he involves himself with the team and the team concept.
The only thing I'll say about
I like
Dallas
that.
Is that I will actually support them this year for one player and one player only, and I want to see him do fantastic.
I know who you're going to say.
I want to see
Harrisburg Cougars.
I want to see Micah Parsons do
great.
And
he's going to be great. He's going to be really good. He's going to be really good.
Just ball out because when he was in college, he was just a monster. He was everywhere. I just want to see them do good. But do I think in the end it's going to matter? No. I think that Tampa, without a doubt, they're going to be a fantastic football team this year. They just are.
Everything says they should be. Everything says they should be. So when you look at the odds for where the Patriots are, or Patriots, the Buccaneers, when you look at the odds to get back to the Super Bowl and what it is to win it, they're plus 650.
Yeah, it's a smart choice. It just is a smart choice right now to pick them. But anyway, you could save the odds for later. Next up, right now, we could talk about. I have a next up game, Eagles-Falcons. Another team that I would probably kick to the curb right now is the Eagles right now because they do not look like that good of a team right now. They look like a dysfunctional group of players. Sure, they have to still figure out their quarterback position with Jalen Hurts. Is he going to be the starter for the future? Are the wide receivers going to be good? Is the running game going to be any better? Is their defense going to be any better? Because they were a dysfunctional team last year. They tied a football game, okay? They were not that good of a team. And then they're going to play against Atlanta, who another team, once again, are they going to solve their problems of last year? Is their historically bad defense going to be any better from last year?
And they got rid of Julio.
And they traded away Julio, and Kyle Pitts is now their new tight end. Are they going to be any different? This is going to be a game where you're like, these were two bad teams last year. Are they going to be any different? And if one team struggles heavily, then you're going to be like, nothing has changed.
Right.
Really, nothing has changed. Next up, I have Steelers and Bills.
Yep.
This is kind of a toss-up here because, the Steelers have the hardest schedule in the NFL this year because that got released. I think the Steelers' strength of schedule is
we talked about that.
0.574. What the fuck, man? Okay, testing us. And, new OC, new wide receivers.
Matt Canada.
You have they cleaned house on the offensive side. New offensive line coach. You have a new offensive staff coming in for Ben in what could be either his last or second to last year. You have a new running back in Najee Harris coming in. You have just an overall new offense coming in right now for Ben because guess what? Last year fucking stunk. Even though you went 12-4, it was not that good of a season in terms of offensively. Defensively, you had a very good defensive season. You had very good players. T.J. Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick were very good still.
Had some key injuries. Bud Dupree going down.
Devin Bush went down. Bud Dupree went down. You had some bad injuries late in the year.
And then Bud Dupree freaking took the big money.
And he deserves it.
Yeah, but that's what you get. That's what you get.
With that.
That's what you get.
So that's a toss-up. And then they're playing against Buffalo. Is Josh Allen going to be better? Is he going to be a better leader this year? Show up in big-time moments. Is their defense going to be any better? Are they going to be able to pressure the quarterback? Because I feel that was the issue last year when they played against good teams. They could not pressure the quarterback. They had no pressure.
In terms of playoff caliber, there are a lot of people saying that the AFC Championship will go through Kansas City with Buffalo, or it'll go through Buffalo with Kansas City. So, when you look at what's left, you look at the Ravens, the Browns, maybe the Finns. I don't know, but it's got to be the top two teams in AFC. Got to be Kansas City, Buffalo.
Yeah,
and they'll go as Josh Allen plays. Period. They just will.
But I also feel that it has to still have a run game because if you go to the Kansas City game, they didn't fucking run the ball. They didn't run the ball at all. So it can't all be on Allen. You got to have a run game.
It can't be. Can't be put on a young guy's shoulders like that. You better have something to add up to that.
All right.
You can't leave it on your defense either.
Yeah. Next one, you have Rams Bears. You have another new look team with your Bears coming in.
Yeah.
You have
and they know Matt Stafford
coming in for your starting quarterback.
He's not going to play.
You don't think so? Come on now.
He's not going to play.
You think that?
No, because I think they're going to freaking. I'm hoping the McCaskey family realizes what Matt Nagy represents, and their freaking their general manager. No, I think it's going to get to a point where they're 2-6 in the first half of the season, and fucking Matt Nagy gets the yank.
I meant by like week 1, like this game coming up here. You think that Andy Dalton's going to be?
Andy Dalton's the starter. He's going to start.
Okay.
I think you put a veteran out there. Why would you? I'm just thinking Justin Fields, and I'm thinking Aaron Donald freaking breathing down his neck and breaking his leg. Break freaking
tough shit. That's the NFL.
Break Andy Dalton's leg. Break Andy Dalton's leg, and then bring in the young kid, and then freaking resurrect the season.
Don't do that.
And go 15-1.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, and then you also have a new look Rams team. Like, look, they went out and got Matthew Stafford. They traded. They went out and got Stafford from the Lions.
And Stafford has never won shit.
Stafford hasn't done jack shit. But you're going to see a completely different offense now that Goff's gone, because for the past 5 years
he could sling it around,
and it's been Goff.
Goff could sling it just as well, maybe better than freaking Stafford can.
Yeah, and in this Rams defense, I hope it's just as good as last year, because they were very solid last year.
Yep.
Their pass defense was very good. Their pressure was very good. And I hope to see that they can continue, because I love seeing a good NFL defense.
Yeah.
Another team that I might kick to the curb just because, like, I don't know what's going to happen with them is Cincinnati. They're going to play Minnesota week 1. Is Joe Burrow even going to play? Is he even going to step on the field? I don't even think he's healthy enough still.
You don't?
I think Brandon Allen is still going to be the starter for them for right now, because Joe Burrow's still not healthy enough. Sure, he may be pushing himself to get back out there, but at the end of the day, you didn't upgrade your offensive line in the draft. You just went out for his best bud at wide receiver. So Cincinnati, still another team where I'm like, could this be Zach Taylor's last year, just because of how things have worked out? And unfortunately, that's the business of the NFL. If you don't win, you don't keep your job. You just don't. Unless you are Cincinnati, who kept Marvin Lewis there for 15 fucking years. So maybe he'll still have his job after this year. Who knows? And then there's Minnesota. I mean, they're still the same team. Nothing has really changed about them. They still have Dalvin Cook. They still have Kirk Cousins. They still have the same team. You know, the rookie, now second year, Justin Jefferson is coming back for them, even though he's questionable for the first game. They're still the same team. So what are you going to expect from them? And last year, they were a very below average to mediocre team.
I think they were middle of the pack, just trying to find themselves. What's your bet? We should have an over and under on whether Joe Burrow plays.
I don't think he plays. I'm on the over that he doesn't play. Like over.
You don't think he plays at all?
I don't think he plays at all, because I don't think he's healthy enough.
I think that Cincinnati is desperate to play, and if you're going to have a showing, you have to show well against Minnesota. My bet is that Joe Burrow freaking starts on Sunday.
I wouldn't be shocked. Like, I would say that I would not be shocked if he starts. But
it's a home game in Cincinnati. I'm thinking he plays.
Yeah, I get that.
And how many months is he removed? Is he 9 months, 10 months removed, 11 months?
So, like, middle of the year last year. So I'd say, like, October.
So he's
late October.
Yeah, well, so he's 10 months away. I mean, that freaking ACL surgery is so good nowadays. The kid
but
freaking.
It may not even have just been his ACL. It may have been other ligaments.
Well, you never know.
Well.
Yeah,
So,
you never know. But I think that Cincinnati cannot go into the hole. My whole thing is they got a fucking terrible division to freaking battle in. They got a freaking awful division to battle in.
They're going up against 3 teams that are very, from last year, very good. They really are.
When I say awful, they have. I'm telling you that the Browns, Ravens, and Steelers are going to beat your ass if you don't have the best players on the field, and
Those
that includes
some
Joe.
very good games this year. Finally.
Should be.
They should be some very good games, and I'm excited. I'm excited actually to say, like, when we play against the Browns, it's going to be a very highly contested game now.
Yeah.
Because in previous seasons, it's always been like, we definitely should win this game. Now it's like, this is going to be a rivalry. This is a very intense rivalry game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, I have the 49ers. Like, look, I'm still a Jimmy G believer. That's just me. I know that there are plenty of people out there who don't believe in him, and I get why they drafted Trey Lance, but he's not starting. He didn't beat out Jimmy G.
And he shouldn't. He's not ready to play. He's just not ready to play at that level. He's not. I think the 49ers are the class of the NFC West. They are just the best team out there. They're getting healthy. Jimmy G has a command of the offense.
And I have your defense on my fantasy team. You better fucking ball out against the Lions. They will not gain another yard. Blitz all night. Sorry. Yeah. So, you make their life a living hell. And you remember that they played the 49ers, okay?
You remember that forever, the night that played the Niners.
Yeah, you make them remember. I agree. I agree, though, that I don't think he's ready to play, and also, I'm just a Jimmy G believer.
Yeah, and
he took him to a Super Bowl.
No shit. He's there. He's the class of that division in terms of quarterbacks. In my mind, he is the class of that division. I know everybody wants to talk Russell Wilson and this and that and the other, but Jimmy G makes his offense go, period. Just stop.
Without him, they were shit. They just were.
Yeah.
And Jimmy G, when he was in, he was playing hurt.
When you look at the rankings for that NFC West division,
it's another hard division.
It's another tough division to play in, but I just don't think the Seahawks have the defense to freaking hang. And as much as I like Russell Wilson because of his game-like command, I don't think that freaking Matt Stafford is the answer for the Rams. And I do like freaking Kyler Murray and freaking in Arizona, but the 49ers, they should be a cut above. And when you look at where they are odds-wise, I think that they have a better than average shot to make waves. They could very well win the NFC Championship. They could. When you look at who they're dealing with, I don't think the Rams people put the Rams above freaking San Francisco. I just don't see that yet. I don't. Defensively, the Rams are very tough, but San Francisco has the potential.
They signed Fred Warner to a big contract. One of the best middle linebackers.
I'm telling you what, I put for 49ers above Green Bay. In my mind, that's where I'm putting them. And I until you prove me wrong, I mean, I could be wrong. Shit, I've been wrong before. Holy shit, I've been wrong many times. But when I look at how they rank out and how they match up,
So
yeah.
Next up, I have another good game that's going to happen. You have Tennessee and Arizona who are going to play each other.
I just don't see freaking Arizona's defense standing up to that freaking onslaught.
And then once again, here's two teams that you're like, okay, they had a good year last year. Arizona barely missed the playoffs. They barely missed them. It came down to it that they didn't play very well. And
Tennessee shit the bed late.
Tennessee shit the bed against the Ravens.
Yep.
They truly did. And I hope that this year for Tennessee, I want to see them do good. And the two things that they need to get better at is, one, pressuring the quarterback. They need to get after the quarterback. They need to have a better defensive line and a better overall that's why they went out and got Bud Dupree. That's why they went out and got some better players, hopefully, for their defensive front, because that's what they need to do. And then the other thing that they need to do is not rely on Derrick Henry so much, because once that became apparent that when Ryan Tannehill needed to be the main guy, their offense did not have much in their basket. They did not have much left to go through down the play sheet. They had one section on the play sheet that said Derrick Henry, and then they had the other section that said, we have 5 plays left. That's all we have. That's literally all they had to get
but at the end of the day, when you have a guy like Derrick Henry, when you have a powerful rushing attack, it takes so much pressure off your defense. It takes so much pressure off your quarterback in your offense in terms of being able to stay on the field and move the sticks. And so when you look at that AFC South, holy shit.
But this has been
we said we're going to throw away freaking Houston and the Jags. That leaves Indy in the AFC South. That leaves just Indy to freaking.
But once again, though, this has been the past 2 seasons for Tennessee where they've looked very good with Derrick Henry. But when it came down to a team that's like, okay, let's ball out for the run and let's stop. Remember the Kansas City game in the AFC Championship game? Guess what happened? They fucking balled out for the run and left it on Tannehill. Tannehill couldn't do anything.
Right.
Their offense was not that good.
And you know as well as I do.
Now you add Julio.
Now you add Julio.
Now you add some offensive weapons.
Yep.
Let's see what they got.
And so you're going to, in my mind, whenever I think of what defenses have to do to defend against a guy like Julio and freaking
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown, who you can't tell me that AJ Brown just going, thank you, Heavenly Spirit, for bringing me Julio so I don't have to do it all myself. And thank you for adding Derrick Henry. Now Ryan Tannehill goes, I've got weapons around me. And all we have to do is have an opportunity. And then all it is about moving. Offense. It's just moving sticks. Well, now you can. Now you can mix up your offense.
Now you have to, though. You can't just rely on Henry.
Well, you don't. Yeah, but having a guy like Julio in your offense really, really stretches the field. Now it's like playing defense. When you think about it, are you going to single cover Julio Jones? You're going to single cover. You're going to try. You're going to try to, right? You think you can single cover him. And if you're going to devote 2 guys to him, well, now you're going to play 9 on 10. And then you freaking add AJ Brown in there, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, what are we going to do about him? And then we're going to devote freaking 6 guys to the box? That's not a lot of help. And now your run game becomes even more impressive. So, there's some good stuff in Tennessee.
Yeah,
Tennessee should be powerful. Very, very powerful.
Next teams I have Seattle and Indy. Indy's a big question mark because as of right now, Jacob Eason is going to be the starter because of Carson Wentz's injury.
Yeah. Jacob
Eason, the former quarterback from Washington and Georgia, is going to have to step up now. And that to me is kind of scary now for a team that is supposed to be, they're supposed to be a good team because if you go back to that Buffalo game, they actually could have won that fucking game. They really could have. And then Seattle, once again, what Seattle are you going to get?
Right,
I mean, are you going to get a team that starts out 5-0 and then drops 12 straight or just plays really bad in the second half of the season?
Right.
You don't know what you're going to get. Is the defense going to be any better? Because historically, they had a terrible passing defense at the end of the year last year. And then which Russell Wilson are you going to get? Are you going to get MVP Russell, or are you going to get the Russell Wilson that's like, he's not playing that well?
Right. Well, when Russell Wilson is free to roam and he has space to make plays with his feet and his arm, then that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
It really does.
And then next I have Chargers in Washington. The Chargers, to me, I hope that they make a stand here finally, and they say, now that we have our quarterback, the starter, he's had a full offseason as the starter now. Because look, last year they literally had to throw him into the fire because their doctor was just like, you know what, Tyrod, fuck you, and just, punctured his lung. So now you finally have him in the system.
I think you got Justin Herbert, who is coming into his own. There isn't a competition. I'm the guy, and I can just do what I've always done. I can just make plays. You got a new coach. You got They have it's like a fresh start for them.
Hopefully they can get something going because I love their uniforms. I love the Charger uniforms so much.
Their whole thing is how they play.
Yeah. and then they're going to play against the Washington football team,
who has the best front seven, probably the front four.
And they got Mr. Fitzmagic at the starting quarterback.
Well, their defense and their I won't say all their front seven, but their front five in their box.
Their defensive line is
probably the best in football. And
2 Alabama starters. You have Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen.
Allen, who just got a big-time long-term contract.
Then you got Montez Sweat, and you got Chase Young on the outside as the edge guys.
Their front four is probably the best in football. In terms of youth and ability and athleticism, what will they do on offense? I don't know. I don't know.
Couldn't tell you whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then, who do I have next year? I have another team that, look, I want to kick to the curb, but they have a new quarterback. You have the Jets. What are you going to get? You have a new head coach. You have Robert Saleh now for the Jets. And now you have Zach Wilson as your starting quarterback, who made some impressive throws in the preseason. But once again, I don't care about preseason. I never care about preseason because when the moment comes, when the pads come on in the regular
season, best laid plans are only as good until you get punched in the mouth.
And the speed of the game is the starters throughout the entire game. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So I don't know. I don't want to kick him to the curb because I think that I like Robert Saleh. I think he's a very motivational coach who likes his players. So I want to see them do good. And they're going to play against another Carolina team. They're going to play against a Carolina team.
The Fighting Matt Rules, baby.
Who are you going to get? Who are you going to get? Are you going to get the Fighting Matt Rules, or are you going to get the Matt Rules who are
My whole thing is,
that good?
Is Sam Darnold going to be good enough to freaking lead this offense? Yes, you got freaking Christian McCaffrey, who is, and you got Chuba Hubbard. You got a freaking couple of guys there who can get some shit done for you. What about the rest of them, though?
Yeah, exactly.
What about the rest of them?
Hey, week 1, a great matchup coming up. You have the Chiefs versus Browns. You have a rematch of the AFC divisional round.
I think the Chiefs beat their dick in the ground.
You do think that the Browns don't start off so hot?
They're going to get their ass kicked by freaking
You really
Kansas.
think so?
Kansas City. Freaking, first of all.
I'm just saying, they
first of all,
well,
Mahomes had his little minor foot surgery to repair his freaking turf toe.
That's true. I don't think that they're
and he'll be 100%. You don't have to play him in a preseason. You don't have to do anything with him. You just freaking do what they do. They got the freaking cheetah. Shit. Are you telling me the Browns are ready to defend them?
I mean, I still don't trust Kansas City's defense. I don't trust them at all.
And you think Cleveland is the answer?
I still think that Cleveland has a good enough offense. Excuse you. I think Cleveland has a good enough offense still to put some points up on them and make it an interesting game. So I still think it would be a good game. But I do think that the Chiefs would win.
I think everybody is putting a lot of shit on the Browns. And when it comes down to it, you haven't shown me shit. You haven't won anything. You haven't done anything. So it's not enough for you to freaking be involved and put them on a pedestal when you haven't done anything. I still think Baltimore is better than Cleveland. I still think Baltimore is better than Cleveland. I still think Pittsburgh should be or could be better than Cleveland. And that makes you that makes you the third best team in your division. Where the fuck do you get off?
3 teams from the AFC North made the playoffs last year.
Yeah. So where do you get off putting them and anointing them better than they are? Okay. You're playing the back-to-back Super Bowl freaking contenders,
AFC champions,
the AFC representative for the Super Bowl. One of them was a championship. The second one, okay, you had a less than spectacular quarterback in terms of his health, but other than that, he still whipped your ass.
Yeah.
So you haven't shown me shit, Cleveland.
Next up, you have Dolphins and Patriots. You have a Dolphins team that what are you going to get here?
You think they're a sleeper?
I don't know.
They got everybody back.
Think. Now
they got everybody back there.
Starter, I don't know what to think. And then same thing for New England. They released Cam Newton.
I know, but Mac Jones
is a whole new team now with Mac Jones at the helm.
They look really good. I mean, Mac Jones is a freaking baller.
Bill Belichick's racist. He's always wanted a white quarterback there at the helm. Just kidding. He wanted. He can't give him number 12, though. He can't do that.
No, they're number 12.
Might rub some feathers. I don't know.
They don't have a Ring of Honor, and do they? Does Patriots have a Ring of Honor?
I don't know. But if number 12 should never be worn by any Patriot again. It just shouldn't be.
Who the hell would want to wear it?
Yeah.
Who the hell wants to wear that?
The Dolphins, yeah. I don't know what to think of them. I don't know what... Because, like, that was always the talk, is that, like, Miami's going to get a quarterback. Miami needs a quarterback because Tua keeps getting benched and put back in every single week. He keeps getting taken off and put back on the bench and then put back in the game. It keeps happening. So I don't know what's going to happen with them. Then you have the Saints and Packers. You have Mr. 30 for 30. He beat out Taysom Hill. He's got the starting job. James
Throw it to the other team. That's what I'm all here. 30 for 30.
But the New Orleans Saints, and you have a Packers team that has been filled with controversy the entire offseason. What are you going to get? I don't think the Packers are going to lose a step because they still have Aaron Rodgers. But for the Saints, I mean, who knows if Jameis Winston is like, now it's a new team, I get to shine. Let's see what I can do. And you have a better defense this time as well. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with these two teams? I still think that the Packers are the better choice just because they have their Hall of Fame quarterback still now, and he's ready to prove something, and he's like, I'm done after this year.
Yeah, I think he's trying to prove something, but at the same time, the Packers are the Packers.
They just are. They're a very consistent team every single year, except when it comes down to
when it comes to nut cutting time and winning a championship. They haven't done shit. Now, is Aaron Rodgers one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL? Absolutely. He is up there. But don't anoint him with anything, because when you look at the odds, Green Bay might be the second best team from the NFC. When you look at who's there, San Francisco, the Rams, Tampa, they got a long way to go. Aaron Rodgers is right there. I don't know. Next
game is like, it's two teams that I'm like, I kind of want to write off, but I'm also like...
All right, let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this. Going back to freaking New England. Or New Orleans, not New England, New Orleans. New Orleans playing against Tampa with freaking...
Oh, my God, I didn't even think about that, right?
How many times is freaking Jameis Winston going to throw it to the Buccaneers?
I don't know. Remember, in the regular season, New Orleans is very good against Tampa. But when it comes to the playoffs, Tampa always...
Well, that was a preseason that wasn't. And now you get to freaking game plan for him.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm going to look that up. I got to look...
like three a game he throws against Tampa each time. Because I think that defense will smother him. I think that defense will smother him now.
Well, they have the potential to put pressure on him. And if you pressure Jameis Winston, he will throw it to the other team.
Next up is, I have the Broncos and Giants, but like the Broncos, they named Teddy Bridgewater their starting quarterback. He beat out Drew Lock. And I still don't think that the Broncos are that good of a team. But the question mark for their team was they needed a quarterback. They need a leader as their quarterback because their defense...
They don't play until October.
Who?
Buccaneers.
The Saints and Buccaneers.
Yeah, they don't play until October and then in December.
and then the same thing goes for the Giants. Like, is Daniel Jones really their future? I mean, they drafted him in the first round. They drafted this guy as their future for Eli Manning. Is he their guy? And I don't think so. But I also don't fucking know about the Giants because, like, what are you going to do? They're just a dysfunctional team. There's been brawls in practice. You have fights going on. You have a huge problem right now. And is it just going to crumble down for Joe Judge?
You don't want it to, because I think he's a good coach. And it's not because he fell out of the freaking the Belichick tree. But at the same time, you can't be brawling and fighting in practice because that tells you have a disjointed team, and you can't have that. You can't have that moving into a season where it's so important for a New York team especially, to win.
Yeah. And then finally, I have the Ravens and Raiders game on Monday night, and you have two other questionable teams. Like the Ravens, sure. Lamar Jackson, he's back. Ready for another year. Let's see what he can do. Can he still be a fantastic, explosive quarterback when it comes to it? And then you have you have the most questionable team every single fucking year. You have the Las Vegas Raiders. You have, what can the Raiders do? Can they be a playoff team, or can they be just a mediocre, run-of-the-mill team with John Gruden? What are they going to be? You don't know because of Derek Carr. You just don't know what you're going to get with Derek Carr as your quarterback. And they are in one of the biggest markets in the NFL now, finally. You're going to have packed stadiums in Las Vegas. What are you going to get? What are you going to get? I truly do not know about the Raiders.
Yeah.
I think they're, once again, like a 7-9, 6-10, 8-8 team. Because you just don't know what fucking team you're going to get. Are you going to get the team that beats Kansas City? Or are you going to get the team that literally loses on a Hail Mary play against Miami? Which fucking team are you going to get? You don't know which team. And it's every single year.
Yeah. Are you going to get the team that can freaking show up and manhandle the Chiefs? Or are you going to get a team that just can't, who bows down to freaking the Jets? I don't know. I think you're right. And for me, the John Gruden mystique is gone. It's this league, the NFL has always been about what have you done for me lately? And he got a 10-year, $100 million contract. So, and we're in what, year 4 of his 3 or 4? Whatever, 3 or 4. 3 or 4?
No, 4. No, I think it's 3 because he had 1 year in Oakland and then he went to Las Vegas.
Okay, well, even so.
So, yeah.
It's been a what have you shown me lately? What have you done for me?
Same thing as Mike Mayock, too, because he brought him in.
Right.
Those two have been together.
And it's the same thing with Matt Nagy and the Bears, and I keep coming back to them, but all of those freaking organizations are all on the fringe for freaking having turnover at the highest levels. And we're not talking about players. We're talking about critical front office, high-level management that is paid a ton of money to get results, and so far John Gruden hasn't done that. Is it Derek Carr? Is it the rest of it? Is it who is it? Mike Mayock, who has tried to bring in talent. I like Mike Mayock. I think he's a great freaking GM. I think that there's a lot of things there, but when it comes to playing and putting a product on the field, they have not produced what they were supposed to produce. It's not to say that freaking John Gruden isn't a great coach. But how do you motivate players to freaking get done what they're supposed to get done? That's the huge question. You look at Andy Reid and what he's done in Kansas City. You listen to the players talk about Bill Belichick. You talk about the guys that play for Bruce Arians. You look at these top-level teams that win, and they always talk about their head coach and their front office as the foundation of the team. Mike McCarthy, I think, has a freaking uphill climb to get there. Does he have the potential? Yeah, he's a Super Bowl winning coach. He has that potential. He has all of those things. But we'll see. We'll see. What's his name? Tennessee. Mike Vrabel. He's another one. He's another guy that is a player's coach, and they love him, and yet he hasn't gotten over the hump.
All right,
so there we go.
Let's start getting the beers out.
Okay.
So that's the NFL. Get excited. Get ready for, once again, 5 straight months of football every single Sunday. And starting this Thursday, once again, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on, let's do 2. Take on the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, I'll give you your choice.
So
I got a porter.
We have a
Kolsch.
let's do a porter. I wouldn't mind a porter.
I got a milk stout, and I got a golden ale.
Let's try the milk stout. I do like the stouts. Yeah.
Milk stout.
Yep.
And what's the other one? You want to go Kolsch? You want to go porter? You want to go dark this week? You want to just
let's do dark. Let's do dark this week.
Milk stout and porter.
Yeah. So, like I said, that's the NFL. Some more exciting college football, hopefully coming up this week. So, like I said, get ready for every Saturday and Sunday. Jeannie, why do you keep limping?
Yeah, she fucking goes around like a whirling
bat
dervish.
Out of hell.
Yeah, whirling dervish, that fucking dog.
So,
all right, I'm going to do my best in trying to reach over the table here and get you what you need. But which one do you want to start out with? Milk stout or milk stout? Okay, so I went to I went to go see her grandmother a couple of weeks ago. She had the knee replacement, the whole 9 yards. And one of the things that I enjoyed before she went to have her surgery was to go to the farmer's market right there in Camp Hill. And it is a cool little place. It's got all kinds of stuff, from candies to desserts to freaking meats, and you name it, they've got it there. But I ran into this place called Gear House Brewing, and Gear House Brewing is in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, and they had a little table set up, and they had a little refrigerator, and they had their beers, and they were selling beer at a farmer's market. And I walked around and I was checking shit out, and they had all these cool desserts. And this is a side thing, they had a keto peanut butter and dark chocolate freaking snack.
Beer?
No, it was a snack.
I was going to say, what?
Right? And I got this, I think I paid like $6 or something, like $5 or $6 for a couple of different kinds of snacks. And I was walking around eating this shit. It was so good, dude. It was so good. I felt guilty. I thought I was eating a half-ass freaking King Reese's cup, the king size version. It was so well made. But as I was walking around, there was this woman, this very pretty older woman, and she was selling beer, and nobody was buying beer except for the coach. And I was wandering around, and she's like, "Oh, so you drink beer?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Yeah, well, we're out of Chambersburg." And I go, "Well, I used to live near Chambersburg." And she goes, "You really?" And I go, "Yeah, I lived in Fayetteville, so I've been around." She goes, "Well, if you ever get a chance to come back here, you have to check out Gear House Brewing, and you're going to love it." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "Well, what do you got?" And she had all these different beers. There were like 6 different beers. And I said, "I'll get a 4-pack." I said, "You pick them. I like darks. I like ales. I like everything except I'm not an IPA guy." Yeah. And so she grabbed me this one. This one's called the Junkyard Cow. Junkyard Cow. It's a milk stout, and it is only 5.8% alcohol by volume. But the can, look at the can, look at the label on that. Is that a cool label?
Yeah, that
with
is.
The cow, and then they got Gear House Brewing on there,
yeah,
and stuff like that. So we're gonna taste Gear House Brewing's milk stout, and we are gonna go. And since we haven't been on the podcast for a while, we're gonna talk to you about our beers. Let me hand that over to CJ. I'm trying to reach across the freaking mixer here. He's getting up and he's reaching over there. Big long arm. And so
he also has a bad arm.
Yeah, well, it's better. My arm is better. But wow, CJ, you hammered that.
Thirsty.
So Gear House Brewing. And so when we talk about our beers, we talk about 4 things. One of them is the smell. Does it smell like they say? And so this is a milk stout. It's a little malty. It's very dark. It's very dark. And so the second thing is, what is your first impression? Are you tasting the signature of this beer? And it is a milk stout, so it is very mild. It should be mild. It's probably either malted or some sort of coca.
It's very malty. I'll say that. I don't taste much cocoa.
It is a malty beer.
Yeah,
it's very malty.
It's not very smooth as much as like some stouts that we've tasted.
Yeah, but that's not all that bad. So the second thing is, does it have an aftertaste? Is there an aftertaste? The third thing is, does it have an aftertaste?
Yeah, a little.
Just slight, and not over the top. And because it's CJ, you crushed that.
This is literally all I've had to drink today is this energy drink. Because I've been busy all day. Other than that, like 30-minute
You were busy taking a nap when I came home.
I had a 30-minute nap. Shut up.
All right. But at the end of the day, the big kicker is number 4. And number 4 is, if you're at a party and it's an outdoor party, we always chose outdoor because you think about springtime, summertime, and it's warm out, and there's a cooler full of beer. Are you going back for another one, and maybe another one after that?
Unfortunately, no for this one for me.
Why? You're not feeling it?
I'm not feeling it. I'm really not. I've had some stouts where I'm like, man, this is so smooth, and it's very.
It is smooth. There's no real bite. It's more of a malty kind of thing.
But I would rather have like a more I can taste
a chocolatey cocoa.
I really would
like a
that
coca
more.
kind of thing. Yeah, but this, I mean, if I was to rank this, in terms of a milk stout, it's not bad. I'm not trashing this beer at all. I'm not. I'm really not. I
wouldn't go back for another one though.
Oh man, I would probably go back for another one without too much of a problem. But it's one of those beers where it's a dark beer. It is dark. I mean, when you hold it up and you look at it and you try to look through the light, it is very dark. But milk stouts, I'm a big fan of milk stouts, and I was never a stout guy. Never. But this, I would probably go back to that cooler and hit one of these at least one more time. Not to mention the fact that it's only 5.8.
Yeah.
It's not like that peanut butter freaking milk stout that we got over there that's 11, and you drink 3 of those and they're going to wreck your ass. This isn't that bad. This is not a bad beer for me.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's subjective to what we believe in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Go back for another one. All right, what do we have?
All right, so Gear House. This is an American porter.
Okay.
This one's a little bit more of a high test. This one's 6.4%, and this is called Porter's Porter. Gear House Brewing, Chambersburg, PA. This is Porter's Porter, and there is only one beer in the history of freaking Pub Talk that has ever ranked to the drinkable drinks until you get hammered off your ass when it came to porters, and that is Port City out of Alexandria's Port City Porter, and that beer rocks people's world. That is such a great beer. So let's start with our smell.
Smells very good.
Yeah, it's got a great smell to it. When you drink beer, you got a first taste. Oh, you got a look on your face, CJ. Is that a good look? He got a smile. He's got a smile, people.
Yeah.
So Port City rocks ass. I mean, it is such a great beer. Port City, if you ever get a chance to get to Alexandria, Virginia, or you get into your Giant Martins, get to a freaking Total Wine and find Port City Porter, I guarantee you, if you don't enjoy it, I will buy your beer. I will buy all the other extras from you. So it's got a smell. So when you hold it up to the light, it's a very dark beer.
Yep. Full
bodied.
Taste, very not much there at all. And man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is Port City. Port City could move over a little bit.
Like I said, that's very good.
We need to get Patrick down here. Can you send?
He can try it.
Can you send Patrick a text? Because I only got one can.
Yeah, he can come down here.
Patrick's going to come to the studio. Patrick's going to taste both of these. But I'm telling you what, right now, Porter's Porter. This is a fine beer. This is a really good beer. Little to no aftertaste. None whatsoever. None. That's number 3. And if you're at a freaking spring or summer party and there's a cooler full of Porter's Porter, are you going to go back?
Yep.
You're fucking right. You're going to go back.
I will get hammered.
The only thing is you're looking at 6.4. It's a little bit more than your average beer.
Holy fuck, he's quick.
If you look at Porter, Patrick, grab yourself a glass. Oh, he's coming down. He's sauntering into the studio.
What'd you say?
No, you can drink out of the can. Drink out of the can because you're gonna love this, Patrick. Patrick, get over there on the mic. Get on the mic. He's that's 3. I think it's 3. It's 3. Can you? talking to. Yeah, he's.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Shit. Is that loud?
Yeah, no, it's not
was
loud.
just in
It's
the
really
mic,
good.
that's
No, it's
Alrighty.
good. All right, so we tasted Gearhouse Brewing. Gearhouse Brewing is out of freaking Chambersburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
this is
from back home.
Junkyard Cow. Junkyard Cow. That is a milk stout. It's got a little bit of a bite, tiny bit
Just
of
the
aftertaste.
start, but
it finishes well.
But it finishes nice.
It finishes well.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Well, and it has the same coloring as this. It has.
Oh, that's
the same
really light for a
No,
stout.
that's
When-
not.
or
That's
is
not
that-
the stout.
that's not the stout.
porter.
That's not the milk stout. This
Oh,
is the
okay.
porter. And then we have to bring out. And Patrick is a fan of Port City because we went to the brewery and we drank our fair share of Port City. But Port City Porter was one of our favorite beers all time on the show. This is Porter's Porter out of Gearhouse Brewing. And if you don't like that, son, you have to move
Leave.
out. You have
You
to
have
move
to
out.
leave.
You have to move out because this is a great beer. Uh-oh.
Really smooth.
Very smooth.
Very smooth.
There's no
Little to
aftertaste.
no aftertaste. None.
For a porter. Yeah, like I said, there's
that's
not
good.
much to it.
Oh, and he goes back. He goes back
Goes
and
back
hits
for a
it
second
again.
drink.
No, it's good. It's really smooth. I would say I like the taste of the milk stout better,
Now, so Pat,
but I like the smoothness of the porter.
But CJ and I were saying that this, being the milk stout, it's not the coca. It's not the coca. It's not
more
the
malty.
chocolatey. It's very malty kind of
Yes.
thing. But it has just a slight aftertaste to it. But other than that, and CJ said he wasn't going back for another beer. If this is a cooler and there's the freaking Junkyard Cow, are
now
you
for
going
the
back for
porter,
another
though,
one of them?
For the porter.
You going back for another Junkyard Cow? Hitting it
Yeah,
the second time?
I'd probably do two.
All right.
But what
So,
about the
are you
porter?
going back to the porter?
I think the porters might catch up to you pretty quick, just because like it doesn't taste like
Yeah, because this is-
4%.
That's why I'm saying
Yeah,
I'm
this
gonna
is-
hammer with the
So,
porter.
Yeah, the
I'm-
porter might catch up.
All
with
right.
you.
So, I'm going to throw one of these on you, and you're going to taste this. And CJ doesn't even know it. But this is. What are you doing, Patrick?
I'm
He's
watching.
watching
Now I'm
golf.
watching the golf. He just missed an eagle. That's all right.
This is
Let's go.
Genesee Cream Ale. This is Genesee Cream Ale. I don't even know if they make that shit anymore, but I found a freaking 30-pack of that shit. And that's 5.2.
It tastes like Narragansett.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It tastes exactly what it's
It
like.
tastes like a Narragansett.
But
And
I really like about it. I really like that.
it's a little
but
sweet.
it's
It's got
not-
a little bit of a
But
sweet
it's not
taste.
overly sweet.
No, but it
It's
has a
not-
little bit of an aftertaste, and the aftertaste is like one of those things where you're like, "Well, I don't mind that. I don't mind that too bad."
Yeah, I
But
like it.
Yeah,
because usually with the cream ales, like it's like you're
Two Silos Cream Ale rocks house. Nobody, because Two Silos in Manassas makes a cream
I
ale.
live right by there now.
Yes, you do. CJ's only about 2 miles from Two Silos.
no.
But I think
those
we
are-
got freaking
you got-
two. I think we got two badass beers. Well, forget about Genesee. Genesee's freaking old school. I don't even know if they make that shit anymore. I just happened to find one in a
But-
warehouse.
But
Junkyard Cow.
the good old
Junkyard Cow Milk
Chambersburg.
Stout, Chambersburg, Pennsylvania.
good old Chambers
Gearhouse. And Gearhouse has a little tiny freaking brewery. And I got to take you up there because I think you're going to like it.
So this one's from Chambersburg.
yeah,
too?
they're both
from Chambersburg.
Yeah, that's
Well,
Gearhouse.
back home's got good beer.
Back home. He says back home. He
All
was
right.
only
I was only there for 5 years. but
yeah. He went to first grade.
Well,
I went to kindergarten.
Oh, kindergarten. You didn't even go to first grade?
Nope.
Oh shit.
When we came down here is when I
I'm
went to
scared.
First grade.
I'm scared.
well, thanks for joining the show.
Yeah,
Taste
well,
the beer.
Patrick, we had to
You
bring
didn't. I'm
Patrick
about to
down
say
there.
you didn't. Well,
Take that freaking Porter's Porter with
Yeah,
you
I'll
because
take
that's
it.
really good. And
so there's a little bit. I mean, there's a little bit more in there, but
We had two really good beers.
Yeah, they're really good. Now that stout's really, really light. Surprise. Well, actually, now that you fill it up a little bit more, that's dark. Yep, there we go. That's the better
It's
color.
motor oil.
But
Put it up to the light. That's motor oil. But it's pretty smooth.
Oh, it has that initial bite, but then it's fine.
And then it mellows out. The big thing is aftertaste. If you're not getting the aftertaste, you enjoy it, and then you want to go back for another one, and then you can do that.
I would go back for multiple of the porters just because it's easy to drink. But if I was just having and I knew I was only going to have a beer or two, probably, the milk stouts.
The milk stout's only 5.6. The freaking 6.4 for the freaking Porter's Porter. I think Porter's Porter rivals freaking Port City's freaking beer.
It's smoother.
Oh my god!
It's smoother.
Don't you ever say that again, son.
Don't
ever
sin
say that
in this household.
That's
sir.
a sin.
My mother's a saint.
Port City. I don't know that Port City makes a bad beer. Those fucking guys.
We haven't had a bad one from Port City.
No, my God. Ultimate.
They're probably the all-around best brewery
in terms
of everything's good.
Everything
The
that you're looking
stuff's
for,
good.
everything that you're
IPAs
looking
are
for in a
good.
beer, they answer
have
our
it.
4 points, and so you can't not do that.
So.
All right.
Alrighty.
Thanks for
Patrick,
Yep.
thank you, Patrick. He's gone. He took the Porter's Porter with him.
All right, let's go ahead and go on to hops.
Oh, hops of the week.
Out here. I want to go first because this
You
is
do?
actually,
Okay.
I have one.
Am I going to be scared?
No. So if you have in the sports world, if you have not been keeping up with the story, I encourage you to go and look this up right now. So basically what happened is there was this high school football game that was played between IMG Academy, which is a very famous football school school for sports, high school sports in general, down in Florida. They played against a school out of Ohio that is called Bishop Sycamore on national television.
Oh
ESPN.
shit, CJ! I saw an article and I didn't want to freaking because it was so much. There were so many links. I didn't want to freaking. That was the fucking rabbit hole, and I didn't want to go down it.
So basically, I'll give you a basic understanding of this. Basically, IMG and Bishop Sycamore had a game on national television on ESPN. So literally millions of people were going to watch this. And apparently, the only way, from what ESPN said, is that they contact these teams to see if they want to be on national television. And Bishop Sycamore, the visiting team, said, yes, we have multiple Division I offers. We have players who are
You're right.
definitely going to
I did see this, but
teams.
hammer it out, brother.
They lost 58-0 against IMG Academy. IMG Academy literally swept the floor with them, and you could tell throughout the broadcast that the commentators and the broadcasters were getting very upset, saying that Bishop Sycamore contacted us saying that we have multiple Division I offers. We have players who are going to be huge players at the college level, and they lost 58-0. And after the game happened, because IMG Academy, like I said, is a very reputable school, they looked into more about what Bishop Sycamore was. Apparently, Bishop Sycamore lied. Their head coach actually has an arrest warrant out for him because of fraud. Apparently, he has committed fraud in the state of Ohio.
Are you shitting me?
There's an arrest warrant out for him. And also,
What are they going to arrest him for, though?
fraud. Like I said, there's an arrest.
I know, but what are you fraudulently representing?
It wasn't for ESPN. This is actually a previous charge. This has nothing to do with the game itself. This has to do with something that he did illegally. So, also, Bishop Sycamore's actual address, because they are actually a brand new school. They are not a school that has a physical address that is with the registry of Ohio. Their actual address is this random church out in the middle of Ohio. It's not their physical address. They are not on the map. They have no physical address actually right now. And they somehow were able to get on national television with ESPN. And like I said, they lost 58-0. They didn't get a single point. They had players get hurt. And like I said, their coach has an arrest warrant, and they were being looked into. They basically lied. They basically lied to get on national television and get swept. And ESPN is like trying to sue them basically for just basically like, how'd you get in here? Because and once again, ESPN is like, you're the fucking dumbasses who allowed this team to get on national television and play against IMG Academy. And it's hilarious because the game, if you watch it, it wasn't a game. It was terrible.
I wonder if it's still around, like you can still check it out.
Oh, yes. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Because like I said, it was a slaughtering of Bishop Sycamore. And their coach, it was all over the news about how this technically fake high school got onto national television. Because like I said, they're technically a new school, and they somehow got onto national television against IMG Academy. So there's my hops of the week. It's hilarious.
I gotta check that shit out. You say that, and I had seen something about some.
It's real. It's completely real. I'm not even joking. The game.
I gotta check it out.
Apparently, like the quarterback of Bishop Sycamore said, like, I'm the oldest on the team, and I'm like 19 years old. So like, there's more to this story that people aren't telling about, and even the players are like, I don't even think they're high school age. They basically, it's down the rabbit hole basically right now to try and find out what's going on. It's great though,
yeah.
Because I'm like, another thing to fuck ESPN up. I love it. I love it.
Boo, ESPN, right?
Truly love it.
Yeah, those
so that's
bastards.
my hops of the week.
That's it, except for Scott Van Pelt. I love his show. Scott Van Pelt has a great show. All right, so
Did you see that Max Kellerman is no longer on First Take?
Why?
They got rid of him. They just want Stephen A. Smith on it.
Yeah, well.
Another reason where I'm like, yeah, Max Kellerman was not that good. So
yeah, and he just freaking, he's the one. He's a Brady hater. He's the one that just.
He says that he's not. He says that he's not.
Yeah,
but
okay.
He's the one who, like, in his first week on the show, said, like, yeah, Tom Brady's going to be a bum.
Right.
Be a bum in short order.
He's in.
And it took him 5 years. It took him 5 years to admit that he was wrong. It took him 5 years and 4 fucking Super Bowls later to realize that he was an idiot. Should have been after the first one, but no. Keep your pride, I guess, because there's people out there who still say that they're cheaters anyway. They're cheaters. My team only wins 4 games a year, but they're fucking cheaters.
Yeah, Max Kellerman. He should stick to boxing because that was where
he's a great boxing commentator.
Yeah,
there's a reason why he's been one of the best in the business. But when it comes to the football analysis and basketball analysis, the fact that he said Kawhi Leonard is better than Kobe Bryant, I go, you're trying to stir up shit. I get it. You sound like an idiot.
He's a Chris Sims. I
feel like ESPN also pushed him towards that.
I think they did. You know what it's like, and this is just me freaking riffing here. You know what that represents? Guys like Max Kellerman, freaking Chris Sims. You know what that looks like to me? It looks like freaking WWE. You got a face guy and you got a freaking bad guy, and they try to freaking stir up freaking storylines.
And I think that's the same with Skip Bayless too. I think that Skip Bayless, he makes these crazy riffs between him and Shannon Sharp.
Yeah. But that's what
drives viewership. That's what drives people to come in.
And then
it's like, listen to this dumbass dude over here. But
right.
It's
and then people just get the shits of it and they turn it off. And the next thing you know, they're like, well, we can't have freaking Max Kellerman on here because he just says the dumbest shit.
But it's like they realize that they're the ones who are causing it.
Right. And they don't even spend the time to investigate what people are thinking. And it's just like, why are you going to let him run his mouth? Why do you allow this shit to happen? And then they freaking get on to tweeting, and then they get on to texting, and it's just like, you guys, you're fucking terrible.
All right, go ahead.
And we're fucking terrible, but I don't care because we're sitting in the basement bar, and who cares? All right, so My hops of the week is, I hate to say it, but mine is another book. And it is.
Don't fucking read on this show.
Well, you don't have to read. You don't have to read because I'm, as well as I do, I get into freaking audiobooks. And I got one of these freaking online audiobooks, and I got a book called A Cold Dish. And I didn't know what it was. I got a free book, and I thought, well, shit, what do I care? I got wait 6 days before I get my free book. I'll wait. And I'm like, I picked up this book called A Cold Dish, and it's written by a guy named Craig Johnson. And Craig Johnson created this character called Walt Longmire. And Walt Longmire is a Wyoming sheriff.
Yeah, there's a show.
Called Longmire.
Old Longmire.
And I didn't know dude, I didn't know anything about this stuff.
I watched it.
You did?
Badass. Yeah.
You didn't? Oh, don't even fucking say anything.
No,
you better not tell me anything.
No, I'm not.
Because I'm only on the freaking. I just finished the second book, and I am totally. You know how I talked about fucking Tom Clancy and Tom Clancy's freaking. I uploaded.
It's crazy how in a small town in Wyoming, so much fucking shit happens.
Absaroka County, baby. And Absaroka County is a real place, and it's out in Wyoming, and it's right near a Cheyenne Native American freaking reservation, and he's got his freaking best friend.
Does it talk about the casino and everything like that?
No, not in the first couple of books. No,
Okay.
It's not that way. But his freaking best friend is a Native American. I want to say Indian, and Henry Standing Bear. And just by the descriptions of what Craig Johnson paints a picture as, you're like, holy fuck, I want to go to Wyoming. And I want to freaking meet Sheriff Walt Longmire. And
I'm sure he's gone by now.
Dude, I just want to have a ride along. I just want to ride along with Sheriff Walt Longmire and the things that they do. And, his descriptions of the Native American culture are second to none. I just think that what Craig Johnson created with this character is phenomenal. And I just found out, I told your mother, and I was like, I want to watch Longmire. And it's on
Netflix.
It
should be on Netflix.
It's Amazon Prime, and you can pay $20 and you can get a whole season for $20. And if it's on Netflix and it's free, then I'll check out Netflix for a free one.
Because that's where I watched it on.
All right. Anyway, but he is
Netflix.
It is
a Netflix original.
Okay, it is just so well done. The way he describes things going on, I couldn't get enough of it. And when I found out he had the books, Craig Johnson wrote 18, 19 books. I'm only on the second one. I just finished the second one. I'm going to listen to every single one of them because this guy describes shit that you couldn't possibly create in your own mind. Not even close. Lee Child, I love Lee Child, my Jack Reacher. Jack Reacher is probably the greatest American hero that's never been, and he's coming out in the new year. If it's not coming this fall, it's coming in the new year. And I can't wait for freaking Jack Reacher to hit Amazon Prime. It's gonna be awesome. There's gonna be a new Reacher book in October, a new Peter Ash book in freaking January. These characters are so well done, but Craig Johnson hit a home run with freaking Sheriff Longmire and freaking Henry Standing Bear, who is by what I know, and I cheated. I went on to YouTube and I checked out a few of the trailers, and Lou Diamond Phillips plays freaking Henry Standing Bear. I can't get enough. If you're not checking them out, you're an idiot. And I hate to say that, but it's so well done, so well written. If you don't check out the books, check out the series. It has to be good. Longmire. Check out Longmire on Netflix. CJ says it's on Netflix. I think it's on Amazon Prime. But check out either one of them. And if you want to hear the audio books, Craig Johnson and the Walt Longmire series, you can't go wrong with any of those stuff. So that's my freaking hops of the week. I love that shit. I I've listened to freaking so many Lee Child, Jack Reachers, and freaking.
Like I said, the show, you would never believe how much shit happens in a small town in Wyoming.
Yeah, and that's the way the books are written. Well, the books are microcosms. They're little things that take place in the book, and I can imagine what the series does to them and stuff. I hope, because I haven't watched any of it. I hope that the book or the series follows some of the books and the things that they do, because the first book, A Cold Dish, fucking, you talk about twists and turns and just exciting. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then my last book, if you haven't read the novella or you haven't checked out the movie does not do it justice. The movie doesn't even come close. Stephen King wrote in a pen name, and he created the book Thinner.
Yeah, I've seen it.
You've seen the movie?
Yeah.
The movie is terrible compared to the book. The book is so well.
Bad. The movie is actually bad.
But the book is badass. Janelli, the fucking gangster. I love that guy, Richard Janelli. That's where it's at.
Creepy movie.
Yeah, really it is a little creepy, but it is what it is. I'm getting a call from school for my new week coming up, but I don't care, so I just canceled a call.
Well, it looks like we're about done. So,
we are done, son.
Thank you for.
It's been a long
us.
show, hasn't it? Though.
Yeah, an hour and 45. So
wow.
Yeah, had a lot to talk
We banged
about.
it out.
But hey, we have everything figured out now for the coming weeks because, like I said, I have a new job, so I'm gonna have to be at my new place. But hey, we have everything figured out.
We got it all set up.
We got it all.
We're gonna
set
be
up.
remote.
We're gonna be remote
podcast.
So, but still, it'll come out every single week for you guys. Recap college and NFL football every single week for you guys. And then, like I said, I'll be back here once a month. I'm looking at because my job.
We're going to come back once a month and do a live show once a month.
Yep, and we're going to do the beer tasting here, so don't worry about that. The beers will still be a part of the show.
Speaking of beer, let's pump it out one more time. Thank you, Gearhouse Brewing. The lady at Gearhouse Brewing, she was so good. We tested Junkyard Cow, the milk stout, and then Patrick took the beer with him. Porter's Porter.
Yep.
Very, very good top shelf beer. Very good. We got 2 more from Gearhouse next week.
Next
more.
Week.
Oh, I guess we're gonna have to save them.
Yeah, the next time.
We got 1 month. We got a month. Well, so let's just do one in 2 weeks then.
Okay.
We'll come back in 2 weeks, and we got 2 more of Gearhouse Brewing's beers. So
anyway, stay dry out there. I know the weather's crappy
it's
right
shitty,
now, so
isn't it?
just stay dry, drink some beer, enjoy some football. Finally.
Yes.
And until next time, peace out. Love you guys.
See ya.